This podcast is supported by FX's English Teacher. Last year's critically acclaimed series returns to follow Evan, Gwen, and Marky as they vie for their students' divided attention. See why Cosmopolitan called its premiere season a masterclass of comedy, while Glamour raved it's the year's funniest and most heartwarming new comedy series. FX's English Teacher. All new Thursdays on FX. All episodes now streaming on Hulu.
Shaq here, spinning fast-acting pain relief with Icy Hot. Ice works fast, heat makes it last. Icy Hot, you're so back.
Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss show. Then today's episode, I wanted to talk on this situation with that singer David. The like D4VD, I think, but it's supposed to spell out David. Regardless, I wanted to talk on that situation. I wanted to add my 2 cents to that because, yeah, it's not adding up. Ain't nothing adding up. You know, and what I personally believe, I think that, yeah, there is obviously, just based off of the evidence and the stuff that's been leaking out, there was definitely some line of a relationship between David and this girl. I think her name was Celeste, but there was definitely some form of a relationship there. I refuse to believe like, oh, we were just strangers. Y'all got live streams, videos, posts, all these other different things, same Discord server, all that. No, and if this man comes out and says he didn't know that girl, whatever, however she died, he was 100% behind it. All right. So, but anyways, no. So overall, just kind of just starting all the way from the beginning of this whole situation, because I feel like that I need to pretty much just, need to add my 2 cents. Like I need to start from the beginning of all of this and stuff, so I can compile up all the things that I need to say and things. But anyways, so yeah, what's crazy is that like this guy, his music, I remember hearing some of his music blow up on TikTok before, and I think that's what a lot of people are referring to him as a TikTok artist. By the way, let me just go ahead and open up TMZ, because I'm like, they might have posted some new stuff that we need to know about. And yeah, it's like it just seems like that. It's like not. It seems like lately it's been kind of quiet with him. But yeah, I think the world still got their eye on this guy, because it's like it just ain't adding up. But so anyways, I remember when I very first had seen this news about the body being found in that Tesla, David's Tesla. I was thinking that TMZ was saying that it was him that was found in the back of that Tesla. So yeah, this is like all the way from the beginning, because I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, he definitely got mixed in with the wrong people. But then they were saying that it wasn't him, it was somebody else. They hadn't came out with the identity, age, any of that stuff. So I'm like, okay, well, definitely it has to be somebody that he knows, like if they driving around in this Tesla, or him. But I just refuse to believe it, even thinking that too. I'm like, I'm gonna get to my conspiracy theory and stuff. But overall though, I was like, nah, it has to be somebody, because I'm like, how does somebody get a hold? You're this popular artist. I would imagine that you live off in a nice neighborhood where ain't nobody gonna be just going around stealing Teslas and stuff. I don't know. I feel like a Tesla, that would be kind of hard to steal. That ain't one of those cars. It ain't like it's a Toyota Camry or I'm trying to think, like a Honda or something. No, this is Tesla. This is a top of the line vehicle, and you're an artist that you're making top of the line money and stuff. Like prior before all this stuff going down, I'm pretty sure because I think I remember them talking about that, how he was he's releasing like a deluxe album or something, like before all this stuff had went down. Yeah, I remember seeing that he was coming out with a deluxe album, because I think he earlier this year, I believe, he came out with an album. And yeah, it was like people were talking about it and stuff, and I was like, I don't really know who he is. I've seen his name before, but I'm like, that was the thing. There was another artist where it's his name, it kind of has like that mysterious look to it, and I always was getting them artists confused. But anyways, but no, overall though, I'm like, nah, it's it wasn't like he was no small artist. So the point that I'm trying to make is that if he I guess like was trying to take the heat off of himself and be like, oh no, it was somebody else. Then it's like, okay, well then who? Who else would have a hold of your car? Who would steal your car? Where's the security camera? I'm like, I imagine that you being a popular artist living in a nice home, you're going to have security cameras scattered all throughout your home. I'm like, if you got where your day-to-day average citizens, where they got security cameras, I got security cameras, you're definitely going to have security cameras. So anyways, so all that stuff, like, so I guess like nobody not knowing the identity, then yeah, you know, we were just kind of like left with like, okay, well, who is it? Like, what's going on here? But I don't think like the day prior before, I don't think nobody was expecting it to be who it was and stuff. But so anyways, then yeah, that's when the person's identity came out, and it was I think they said at the time she was 14 when she died. But then when they discovered her, like I think they said it was either a day after or a day before her birthday or something like that. It was like around the time of her birthday. But anyways, 14 years old. I'm like, that to me. And so anyways, yeah, the identity comes out, 14-year-old kid. Everybody in the world is just shocked because they're like, what is a 14-year-old kid's cut up body doing in the back of your Tesla? Like, nah, bro, like something ain't adding up. Like that's one of those things where I'm thinking along the lines like, what could have possibly happened to where it led to that, you know? So anyways, the identity of the person comes out, everybody's flipping out and things, and then it's left with, okay, what association does he have with this? Talking on David, like what's going on here? Then all this information started coming out, videos, pictures, what else? I think it was live streams. I'm saying it's all this evidence linking David to knowing who this girl was. And then that's when, yeah, finally cat's out the bag. He was dating this girl this whole time. So, and the thing is, I know people will probably be all like, wait a minute. So, like, how did he know her? Like, what did... So, I think they had got... Because it had to have been like she was a fan of him. They got into communication and all that other stuff. And I think they were mainly talking through Discord, but then eventually it probably was like texting and all that other stuff and things. But anyways, and that's why I'm like, yeah, people, if you got kids, definitely be cautious and careful of what, because I think even then still, it's like you still got to be careful and cautious of like your kids getting involved in the internet, because yeah, you're going to have people out there that's going to be taking advantage of your kid and stuff. So it's like, I ain't heard too many horror stories where it's like, yeah, you know, kids, it's like, that's a dangerous place. And then just even talking to a kid, like if you're a kid and you find yourself listening to this podcast episode, do not have no personal conversations with an adult. None whatsoever. Like, yeah, if it's on some like normal stuff where it's just, you know, I think the most personal conversation I've ever had with a kid is giving the kid advice on asking out a girl that he liked when he was in, because I think he graduated now. But anyways, that was as far as it was that it ever went. But I'm like, as far as like, you know, like deep, intimate, no, there should be no reason you're having a conversation like that with an adult, and then just even talking to an adult. It's like, fam, you should know better than anybody that you should not be taking advantage of a kid like that, you know. And that's what people are trying to say, I guess, to defend David, that, oh, well, she lied about her age. Fam, they showed a picture of her when she was a kid, and I think it was around the same age when she started, because I think she started talking to the David guy when she was 11, because they've known each other for some years apparently. So anyways, but she known him since she was 11. My thing is this: when you see a picture of her like around that age, and because I just remember me, I didn't really change that much from when I was like in elementary all the way up to I was 11. You know, like I think I might have gotten slightly taller, put on like maybe 2-3 pounds or something like that. But other than that, I didn't change that much. It wasn't like, oh, I got like facial hair and I'm, you know, like now I look like a caveman type. No, you don't change that much when you're a kid. All right. But at 11 years old, you should be able to see when a person is a kid. It wasn't like, you know, when I went into GameStops, even by just the person's voice. But no, even when I went into GameStops, there was never a time where they had to question whether they should card me or not while me being 11. I'm like, fam, clear as day when you can see a kid as a kid, all right? So that's why I'm like, and I think, you know, people would try to say that, oh, well, when they met, he was also a minor. Okay, and I've said this before. that day you turn 18, you gotta drop like any conversation. Yeah, I'm like, fam, you still 17 years old talking to an 11-year-old. That's weird. That's just some flat out weird stuff. I just remember being in school where it's like they didn't even, like, seniors couldn't even talk to freshmen. I mean, like, the thing is this: you could be cool with a freshman, but like as far as being in a relationship, you would get called out for that. So like, how do you think that looks where it's like you're graduating high school, but you're talking to somebody that just started middle school?
Tonight, turn down the noise of the day and focus on the rest with AGZ, the nightly drink for winding down and resting up. New from AG1. AGZ supports your body's natural sleep cycle with clinically studied key herbs, adaptogens, and minerals in amounts supported by research. And no melatonin, helping you wake feeling rested. Wind down, rest up with AGZ. Learn more at drinkagz.com.
Did you know that parents rank teaching financial literacy as the toughest life skill? That's where Greenlight comes in, the debit card and money app made for families. With Greenlight, you can send money quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and track spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn how to earn, save, and spend responsibly, while parents have peace of mind knowing smart money habits are being built. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/Spotify.
That's kind of weird, bro. Like, it ain't even kind of like, nah, that's just flat out weird. So that right there is, but they're trying to say that she lied and said that she was 19 years old. So she didn't have, like, no ID. That's one of those things where I'm like, okay, let's go to the DMV. Let's see how all this stuff, because I'm like, there's a process. There's things that you gotta do to get ID, driver's license, all that stuff. So that's why I'm all like, nah, let's see about that. Matter of fact, what does your family have to? Because that's one of those things where I'm like, if you look at, because I'm like, that fam, you should be able to tell an adult from a kid, but if not that, like, it's somewhere it's like, oh, I got a question and I gotta, okay, ask the family. But like, okay, well, I'm pretty sure mom, dad, sister, brother, somebody, like people, I'm like, okay, people that you went to, I'm pretty sure you have to be friends with somebody that you went to school with. And then right then and there, that's when it'll come out and they're like, okay, I lied. I'm not 19 years old. I'm 11. It's like, oh, okay, well, I'm dropping all contacts from you. That's how that should have went. Shouldn't have became no relationship. But anyways, so yeah, all this information and all this stuff starts coming out. Now it's left with, okay, why did he do it? Like, what could have possibly? Because people, they already, and I'm like, my thing is this: there's two possible like ways, and I'm like, fam, I just don't believe, I just don't want to believe that somebody would do this to a 14-year-old kid and stuff. Like, to me, I'm like, that's some sick stuff, whether it's David or somebody else. But I'm like, okay, there's definitely, if it ain't him, then it's definitely somebody that knew him, and because they have been saying that he has been cooperating with the police and stuff. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if he already knew who was in the who was in the back of his car, or like did they have a bit, because sometimes, like, police and investigators and all that stuff, we don't really know no information until like later on in things. So that's why I'm like, yeah, if I don't know if he knew or not, but my thing is this: it's like, so let's just say it's not him, but but I imagine that you would be asking questions, like, and that's why I would like to, like, okay, so when they interviewed him or interrogating, whatever they want to call it, it's like, how was he acting? What questions was he asking? Like, that's why I would be asking investigators, because it just seems like that they're being mad quiet, besides just giving us like little detail, just little details and stuff. So that's why I'm like, there has to be something out there where it like overall shows how he's acting, the questions that he's asking and all that stuff. Because I'm like, fam, my thing is this: if I have a car and that car goes missing, I don't care how many cars I have or how rich I am. I'm like, oh, I just got by me. I'm going to be worried about where this car is at. And I think they even said, like, Tesla's, hold on for a second. Let me just clarify this real quick and see, does Tesla's have tracking, the tracking device? Yes, Tesla vehicles have built-in GPS tracking for features like stolen vehicle recovery. So, and the thing is that they said that it was in the area. So that's why I'm like, okay, so my thing is this: if it ain't you, who had access to your car and who was in communications? Because it's clear as day you had some sort of relationship with this girl, right? So my thing is this: who had access to your car? And if it's not you, who would drive around with this kid? Because I'm like, my thing is this: if there ain't nobody else that's in the mix of this, it leaves you. Because I'm like, my thing is this: what enemies are you gonna have at the age of 14 where they gonna cut your body up and put you in the back of a car? I ain't never heard no stuff like that before. So that's why I'm like, fam, to me, it ain't adding up. And he's being mad quiet online. Like, that's one of those things. I guess he's probably, maybe he's thinking along the lines, like, if he knows that he's innocent, he's probably thinking along the lines, like, okay, well, when the truth comes out, I know that I'll be free from all of this. But I'm like, fam, it's one of those things where if I'm him, I'm like, hey, we gonna have to, like, if I'm just like clear, like, yeah, I just don't know what's going on, but people are trying to say that I'm behind all of this. I'm like, nah, all of this gotta get, but it's just, to me, it's like, still, you had to have had some sort of relationship, because I'm like, my thing is this: if it ain't, if he didn't do any of this stuff to this kid, you're still at fault, because it shouldn't have been no situation where y'all was hanging out like that. Like, this is a 14-year-old kid that we talking about. Like, they need to be in school. What are they doing hanging out with a 20-something-year-old TikTok singer? What education, what life is this kid going to know about living with a TikTok? Like, we got to record a 15-second TikTok. That's going to be our education lesson for no, bruh. No. I don't know what's going on with him, but it's definitely one of those things where I don't even think they even posted anything lately about him, because I feel like that there's definitely I think it's just people out there where they're like, they're just, paying their respects to the girl. But yeah, it's like, I mean, like, there's like songs, I guess they said, that he did for her. What else? There's like, I guess there was an unreleased song where and that's the thing, like, that unreleased, if it's things that he comes out and says it's the truth, then it's like, okay, then, it's like, it's believable. But I'm like, sometimes though, I don't know, when we live in a day and age, I'm not trying to say that he's innocent, but I'm just saying that we live in a day and age where AI technology exists. I really can't trust like the unreleased music anymore. So that's why I'm like, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, is there a proof that he recorded this song? And it ain't like, oh, I'm supposed to just take somebody's word for it and stuff. But no, there definitely he is a suspect in this situation, whether it was him just being in a relationship or he actually did something to this girl, because that's what I personally believe. Like, so if he did do it, this is what I think had went down. I think they had to have gotten into some sort of argument. She threatened to expose him for pretty much being a pedophile. It's like, there ain't no ways around it. Bro's a pedophile. But anyways, I think she was going to expose him on that. He snapped, went crazy, and then he ended her life. And I'm like, fam, that's one of those things. You should never put yourself in the mix of that in the first place. I'm saying, like, it's one of those things. You guys sit down and think about it. You're 20 years old. You need to be a little bit more responsible of who you talk to, who you get into communications with, all that other stuff. And that's something where it's like, people always ask that question with people like him, where it's like, why aren't you dating somebody your age? Let's hold on for a second. Because I gotta see this guy's socials and all that stuff. Because I'm like, fam, and then you being a singer on top of that, it ain't like, regardless of, like, you're just overall a musician. All right, I feel like when you're a musician, it's one of those things where it's like, in a popular musician on top of that, fam, like, you gonna be having women all over you. Like, that's the thing that confuses the life out of me. But he somehow, some way thought like, oh yeah, I can build a life with an 11-year-old. That's just weird. But 2 million followers on Instagram, 3.9 million followers on TikTok, 90K on Twitter, and how many subscribers? He had 2.2 million. So he was relatively a big creator and stuff, if we can call him that and things. But yeah, overall though, I'm like, fam, it's one of those things where you threw all that, if he is behind all of this, you threw all that away just so you can be in a relationship with a kid. Like, that's the stuff that be confusing the life out of me with people. I'm like, you got your whole life ahead of you, and you got a good life on top of that. Like, people would love to be in your situation where they're this famous musician or just overall creator, where it's like, you could go viral on TikTok, you could go viral on YouTube, Instagram. You threw all of that away because you want to be in a relationship with a kid. And you very well could have been in a relationship with any woman out there. I'm saying it's one of those things where it's like you making, and I wonder how many. Well, I don't know, like, cause he's made quite a few, but I know that there were some popular songs where I'm like, fam, a lot of people are gonna be using, especially you going viral on TikTok, fam. A lot of people are gonna be using your music. Women gonna be using that. I'm not saying that that's a way to like look for your future wife, through TikTok and stuff, but I'm just saying it's like if there's a toss up between that or dating this 11-year or way at the time being, when they very first met at 11 and things, I'm like, fam, come on now. It's a clear as day situation. It's like, you ain't gonna have no choice but to go use dating apps. But I'm saying it's one of those things where it's just, that guy, I'm like, if he's behind this, I'm like, throw him off in prison, like at the bottom of the prison, have it where he spends the rest of it. Because I know people will probably be all like, if like, let's say he's proven guilty in this whole situation, then people will probably be all like, death penalty. Nah, he needs life in prison. He's one of those people that needs to sit and think about and have it where it's like one of those like public prisons, not one of those prisons where it's like, he can be alone and all that. No, he needs to be off up in one of the like most hardcore public prisons out there. Cause I'm like, he needs to be serving like multiple life sentences. Just so overall, like it's one of those things where I could sit down, be living my best life. I'm like 40, 50 years old, whatever and stuff. And I'm like, dang, I just remembered that one dude all them years ago where he got arrested for killing that kid. I'm like, dang, what's life like for him? Still alive, still serving a life sentence in prison and stuff. Because I'm like, man, it's one of those things where it just, to me, that just doesn't even make any sense where it's like you would do some stuff like that, But if it ain't him, then it's one of those things where I'm like, you need to be conducting your own little investigation and post if there's somebody else that's in the mix and they killed that kid. They need to be the one where everybody is talking about them. But still, at the same time, you still guilty, bro, because it's like you shouldn't even have put that kid in that situation where it's like they hanging out with you and all this other stuff. Nah, man, it's if the parents is there, then okay, but if the parents ain't there, then I'm like, nah, bro. It's one of those things where I sat down and I thought of that, me being a content creator, a kid all like, oh, let me stay off in your house, let me know. I don't know you like that. I'm like, if we blood, then it's just, that I'm a guardian. It's my responsibilities that I gotta take care of you. But a random kid, I'm like, your parents are alive. Your other extended family members is alive. Okay, so you gonna have to go stay with them. I'm like, but it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm like, sit down and think about that. Some random kid, no blood relation, none of that stuff, staying with an adult where it's like, you have family, you know that you could be staying with and things. How do you think that's overall gonna look? So it's like, maybe if I have like an orphanage and then that would be it. But I'm like, your parent, like it sounds, I don't know what the situation is with her parents, but I'm like, it seemed like that her being with this David guy was a lot worse. Like, okay, you have parents where y'all don't get along. You guys is constantly arguing and all that stuff. I'm like, if it's a toss up between that or having it where my body is being disposed in the back of a car, I'm arguing with my parents day and night. I'm like, but I ain't trying to get killed for whatever reason and stuff. So, but anyways, rest in peace to that girl. She didn't deserve that. It's one of those things. I'm like, whoever killed her, whether it was David or somebody that knew that David guy that was in his inner circle, somebody needs to go down for this. But it looked like it's gonna be David, because I'm like, that to me, it just doesn't even make any sense. Where it's like, if there ain't nobody else involved, then who could have done that to that girl? So. Anyways, with that being said, talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.